Speaking of Islamist butchers, being very clear here, not Muslims, Islamist butchers, there was news to report in Operation Epic Fury this week as well. Ali Larijani, one of the most powerful figures in Iran's Islamic regime, was killed by the Israel Defense Forces after months of him issuing threats against the U.S. president and against U.S. service members. Those who can do, those who can't impotently threaten. Israel's Foreign Minister Gideon Saer confirmed the strike that killed Mr. Big Mouth, noting that Larijani had a $10 million bounty on him by the United States, adding, "We did it for free." Larijani had been appointed head of the National Security Council after the casualties to the despotic regime during the 12 Days War. This man was also accused of leading the regime's brutal crackdown on protesters this January that, according to some estimates, left more than 30,000 people dead. The U.S. sanctioned him for his role as one of the first leaders to, quote, call for violence against the protesters. In the weeks leading up to his death, Larijani used social media to deliver increasingly explicit threats against the United States, including threats against President Trump and vows to, quote, hunt down U.S. service members. Over his long career as a regime insider, Larijani held numerous senior roles, including being the head of Iran's state broadcaster, the chief of nuclear negotiations, the Speaker of Parliament until 2020, and the security advisor to the former supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, whom he has now joined. Larijani also had deep ties to the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, the IRGC, a U.S.-designated terrorist organization, and he even served as a commander during the Iran-Iraq War. In January, he openly said that Iran would have, quote, no choice but to acquire a nuclear bomb if the United States or Israel attacked. Since January, he has been running Iran, according to the New York Times. Khamenei turned to him to steer the country through mass protests and the growing threat of war. That worked out well. Last week, Larijani tweeted, "Mr. Hegseth, our leaders have been and still are among the people, but your leaders on Epstein Island." I would point out that no one has been to Epstein Island for years, because the dude is dead. But since the dude that I would be saying that to is also dead, and actually with Epstein right now, why bother? Larijani didn't hide his rhetoric. Most of these people don't. Only their Western groupies lie. They themselves are very clear. In the weeks before his assassination, Larijani flooded social media with rhetoric and threats targeting the United States military, regional partners, and the President of the United States. Here are a few of his posts. February 28th, 2026. "We will make the Zionist criminals and the shameless Americans regret their actions. The brave soldiers and the great nation of Iran will deliver an unforgettable lesson to the hellish international oppressors." Irony is always lost on these people. March 1st, 2026. "America and the Zionist regime have scorched the heart of the Iranian nation. We will scorch their hearts." The next day, March 2nd, 2026. "Trump has betrayed America first to adopt Israel first." Well, at least now we know who's paying the influencers that are repeating Iranian propaganda word for word, as though the Islamic regime in Iran holds America first as something that is deeply sacred. 2 days later, March 4th, 2026. The story has not ended yet, and the martyrdom of Imam Khamenei will come at a heavy price for you, God willing. March 7th, 2026. It has been reported to be that several American soldiers have been taken prisoner, but the Americans claim that they have been killed in action. Despite their futile efforts, the truth is not something that they can hide for too long. That same day, some American soldiers have been captured. They are lying that 5 to 6 American soldiers have been killed. Later, they will inflate the numbers of death under the pretext of an accident, too. Photos, please. Proof? No, didn't think so. March 10th, 2026. Watch out for yourself, lest you be eliminated. March 12th, 2026. Darkness provides ample opportunity to hunt down U.S. servicemen running for safety. That was, of course, before the lights went out for the impotent old man himself. That same day, we will not relent until making you sorry for this grave miscalculation. Hashtag Trump must pay. End scene. There won't be any more tweets from him. Then on Wednesday, the Israeli military announced that the chief of Iranian intelligence, Ismail Khatib, had been killed overnight too in a targeted strike in Tehran. Khatib was appointed as Iran's Minister of Intelligence in 2021 by Khamenei after holding several positions in the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, the IRGC, a group of terrorist thugs, making Khatib the latest senior Iranian official to be eliminated in an Israeli strike. The IDF stated that Khatib played a significant role during the recent protests throughout Iran, including the arrest and killing of protesters, and he led terrorist activities against Israelis and Americans around the world. Similarly, he operated against Iranian citizens during the Masa Amini protests. As of Wednesday, Khatib's death had not been confirmed by Iranian officials. It was first reported by Israel's defense minister, Israel Katz, who said that attacks on Iran and Hezbollah in Lebanon would continue to escalate, saying, according to the Times of Israel, on this day, significant surprises are expected across all arenas that will escalate the war we are conducting against Iran and Hezbollah in Lebanon. The intensity of the strikes in Iran is increasing. The Iranian intelligence minister Khatib was also eliminated overnight. The State Department offered a $10 million reward for information on Khatib, which doesn't seem like it will be needed at this point. Larijani's death, however, was confirmed by Iranian officials who referred to him as a servant of God and a martyr. The IDF had this to say. Throughout the years, Larijani was considered one of the most veteran and senior figures within the Iranian regime's leadership and was a close associate of the supreme leader, Ali Khamenei. During the most recent wave of protests against the Iranian terror regime, Larijani personally oversaw the massacre that was carried out against Iranian protesters.